At the far edge of the whispering forest, where tall pine trees swayed like silent guardians in sunlight filtered through leaves in trembling patterns, stood a small white cottage with a red-tiled roof. Roses climbed its walls, and a narrow stone path led to a wooden door polished smooth by years of loving care. This cottage belonged to Mother Goat and her 7 little goats. Mother Goat was wise and gentle, with soft white fur and eyes that carried both warmth and caution. She had lived near the forest long enough to understand its beauty and its dangers. The forest was full of wonders. Birds that sang stories at dawn, streams that laughed over stones, and mushrooms that glowed faintly at night. But it was also home to darker things. Most dangerous of all was the Wolf. The 7 little goats were lively and curious, each with a personality as bright as a star. First goat, the eldest, was thoughtful and brave. Second goat loved singing and laughter. Third goat was clever and always asking questions. Fourth goat was timid but kind. Fifth goat was adventurous and restless. Sixth goat was gentle and dreamy. Seventh goat, the youngest, was tiny and quick, always hiding in unlikely places. Every morning, the cottage echoed with giggles, clattering, hooves, and Mother Goat's firm but loving voice guiding her children through the day. Yet every morning also carried a warning.
Now
Chapter
listen
2.
closely, my children.
A mother's warning.
While I
One
am
bright
away,
morning,
you must not open
Mother
the
Goat
door for
fastened her
anyone.
cloak and gathered
The
her
wolf is
children
cunning
close.
and dangerous.
"My dear ones," she said, kneeling so her eyes met theirs, "I must go to the village to buy food. While I am gone, you must not open the door for anyone." The little goats nodded eagerly. "The Wolf may come," Mother Goat continued, her voice lowering. "He is clever and cruel. He may disguise his voice, but remember this, his voice is rough and his paws are black." First goat stood tall.
Open the door,
"We
my
will be
dear
careful,
children."
Mother. Second goat sang,
We
won't open the
you,
door."
you old wolf.
Even little seventh goat squeaked in agreement. Mother Goat kissed each forehead and stepped outside, locking the door
We know
carefully
it's
behind
you,
her.
you old wolf.
As she walked toward the forest path, she looked back once more, her heart heavy with worry. She did not know that from behind a tree, yellow eyes were watching. Chapter 3. The Wolf's Hunger. The Wolf had not eaten in days. His ribs showed beneath his dark fur, and hunger burned in his belly like fire. He had heard the laughter from the cottage and smelled warm milk and bread. 7 little goats, he growled softly. A perfect meal. The Wolf was not foolish. He knew force would fail. So he planned. He waited until the sun climbed high and Mother Goat disappeared from sight. Then he crept to the cottage door and knocked gently. "Little goats," he called. In a sweet, gentle voice, "It is your mother. Open the door. I have brought you treats." Inside, the goats froze. "That voice?" whispered third goat. "It sounds kind." But first goat frowned. "Mother warned us." They called back, "Show us your paw." The Wolf snarled under his breath but pressed his black paw against the window. "Go away!" cried the goats. "Our mother has white paws. You are the Wolf." Furious, the Wolf stormed away. But he was not finished. Chapter 4. Deception. The Wolf went to the village miller. "Cover my paw with flour," he demanded. The miller trembled. "No, that is wrong." The Wolf bared his teeth. The miller obeyed. The Wolf's black paw became white, and he returned to the cottage. This time, he softened his voice even more. "My little ones," he sang gently, "open the door." Again the goats hesitated. "Show us your paw," they cried. The white paw appeared. The goats rejoiced. "It is Mother." They opened the door. In a flash of fur and teeth, the Wolf burst inside. Chapter 5. Terror in the cottage. The cottage erupted into chaos. The goats screamed and scattered, hiding wherever they could. The Wolf caught first goat behind the table, then second goat near the bed. Third, fourth, fifth, and sixth were swallowed one by one. Only seventh goat escaped, hiding inside the tall grandfather clock, holding his breath as the Wolf sniffed the air. Satisfied and bloated, the Wolf lay down beneath a tree outside the cottage and fell into a deep sleep. Inside the silent house, the youngest goat trembled but survived. Chapter 6. A mother's grief. When Mother Goat returned, the door stood open. The house was wrecked. She called out, her voice breaking. One tiny voice answered. Seventh goat emerged, tears streaming down his face. and told her everything. Mother Goat's grief turned to determination. "They are alive," she said firmly. "I can feel it." She took scissors, needle, and thread and followed the sound of the Wolf snoring. Chapter 7. Justice the Wolf slept deeply, his belly swollen. Mother Goat carefully cut open his stomach. Out stepped her children alive. They embraced her, sobbing. "Quickly," she said, "bring stones." The goats filled the Wolf's belly with heavy stones, and Mother Goat sewed it shut. When the Wolf awoke, he staggered toward the well. "I am so thirsty," he groaned. He leaned over and fell. The stones dragged him down, and the forest fell silent. Chapter 8. A new dawn. The goats returned home. They repaired the cottage, planted new flowers, and learned a lesson they would never forget. From that day on, they listened carefully, trusted wisely, and never opened the door without certainty. And Mother Goat watched over them, knowing that love, courage, and wisdom had saved her family. Moral of the story: do not trust appearances, listen to wise guidance. Cleverness without kindness leads to destruction. Love and courage can defeat even the greatest fear.